I was just perusing the dials about 30 years ago, and I'm hearing this fascinating talk, and I said, wow, this is something different. This is something different than the vast wasteland that is on the airwaves these days. And then there's jokes, and then there was some music, old music. They had a little old-time jazz and old-time country music, and so I just kept waiting and waiting, and then finally Station ID came on, and it was the Garrison Keillor Prairie Home Companion. And I said, wow, this is great. So I became a fan. There were a bunch of Midwest musicians who invited me to go out and play with them. And I said, well, we're going to be on this radio show from Minneapolis. I said, you mean the Garrison Keillor show? He said, yeah. He likes older jazz and things like that. I was part of a band called Chicago Rhythm, and we used to do all this music from the 1920s, performed by kind of a long forgotten name named Jimmy Noon. He was an amazing clarinet man, and he had a little combo band, and they made a lot of classic sides for Brunswick in the 1920s. And we got a chance to meet at the first time, and so the whole operation was completely knocked out. I finally meet Garrison on one of these engagements where I'm a sideman working for other people, which I love to do, by the way. It's wonderful being a sideman, not being the leader. And I got to talk to Garrison, and he asked me what else I do, and I said, I have this band back in New York. It's a repertory band called the Nighthawks, and we play music of the 1920s and 30s. It's a big band. And he said, would you ever consider coming out here to play? And I said, really? You'd want the whole band to come out here? And he said, sure. I said, wow. Because it's really hard having a big band. You've got transportation, you have hotel, lodging to deal with, and then you got to pay the musicians. So you start adding all that stuff up. Wow, it's a lot of money. But his show, was so popular, I guess they had a budget. And they brought us out, and we had a wonderful time playing for the folks, and got a great reaction. And so that's pretty much how we started a working relationship, and I guess it's a good 20 years of off and on, because he likes to vary things a lot. We were asked to do one of his farewell performance shows, and the great Everly Brothers were there. At the time, we had a great singer who was on early television, a guy named Johnny Crawford. It was Radio City Music Hall, and we were down in that legendary pit, and the pit orchestra would come rising up with this wonderful pneumatics that they had. But while you're there waiting for the platform to raise, unbeknownst to me, it's like moving, almost like a ship. I figured, well, we're not going anywhere. But the compression, it's an old system. It was built back in the 30s, which I love old things, but I got a little scared. But sure enough, we got the big fanfare, and then the house lights came up, and we came up in the pit, and there was Garrison up on the stage with the Prairie Home set, and it was very memorable and wonderful to be part of that celebration.